we're back with another episode of Lakers Fast Break Podcast. It's Lakers Weekend, ending your Lakers Weekend right here at the Lakers Fast Break. I also host the Pop Culture Cosmos, where we cover the latest news and trends in pop culture each and every week, twice a week, wherever you get your podcast. On this week's episode of the Pop Culture Cosmos, will be coming up Monday morning for you. We will be talking Comic-Con with lots of Marvel at you, coming at you with a new Black Panther announced, so Black Panther 3 on the way, Avengers Doomsday. Of course, a lot mentioned in regards to that. Who might be appearing in that? Could it be a Deadpool sighting as far as in Avengers Avengers Doomsday? We'll go ahead and talk about that. Plus also as well, everything that we saw, that we liked, that we want to talk about from Comic-Con. Man, still want to go to Comic-Con. Still on my bucket list. Been trying for 10 years to get press passes for Comic-Con. Still can't get it, but still try next year. We'll see what happens. But again, we're going to be talking about that. Also, the second week of The Odyssey and more. I finally get to see The Odyssey this week. Yes, my family and I, we finally got, well, actually we bought it weeks ago, but it was so far as far as away from the premiere, as far as when we could get 4 tickets together for the only 70 millimeter IMAX theater here in Las Vegas. It took about 2 weeks, a little over 2 weeks to go ahead and be able to get it. But yeah, go ahead and talk about The Odyssey and more right there on the Pop Culture Cosmos. Indeed. No, I can go as myself. That's fine. I'll be able to do that. That's fine indeed. So with that said, I also host Lakers Latest. I'll be bringing out a new Lakers Latest tomorrow, where we'll also talk about LeBron and what's going on in the NBA, some news and notes from the NBA, and of course, see if anything's going on with the Lakers. We'll go ahead and talk about that this week as well on Lakers Latest. Hopefully, maybe I'll include some NBA observations on this channel as well. So keep in tune with what we're doing right here at Lakers Fast Break as well. JSJ says free Dr. Doom costumes. I will say it, and I will be on that hill, that they should have never announced Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom. They should have kept it as a surprise. I'm going to tell you right now, they should have kept it as a surprise. It would have been that big. It's very few times now in life we would have gotten, or we get actual surprises out of things. And it just would have been nice if it would have been surprised with, revealing the mask and, oh, it's Tony Stark. That would have been really cool. But now everybody's in on it. So, I'm going to go. I'll see it. I'm just not as excited for it as I am Dune 3. Dune 3, Dune 1 and 2 have been really, really good. And I expect nothing less out of to finish it out for Dune 3. I'm more excited about that than Doomsday coming up in December. So what can I say? It's just, Doomsday you saw the trailer, was just a whole bunch of guys and gals just meeting up, shaking hands. Hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? And of course, Robert Downey Jr. trying to speak in the native language of the fictional country that Dr. Doom is from. So there you go. There you go indeed. But yes, Comic-Con, I will go ahead and talk about on the Pop Culture Cosmos indeed. But it is, of course, the Lakers Fast Break. Let's get into that right now. Truly appreciate you joining me. Hopefully I can get in Joe and also John Costa. They said they would try to make it here as well. So looking forward to that. I'll take RDJ money. Absolutely. I'll take RDJ money. But again, would have been nicer if they would have done it as a surprise, and I'll leave it at that. What's going on, Tough? What's going on, Search? Best mod out there. Nobody better than Search and Destroy. 805 JSJ. Great to have you here. Best League. There you go, indeed. Great to have everyone here. Again, Turd War. LeBum has got... Hey, I've still seen it. I've seen all the comments. A lot of people happy. They got what they wanted. They were really ecstatic that LeBron has left and moved on. And I said, again, I just think it's best for both parties to move on. with their lives, to move on to different ventures, for the Lakers to move on, and for LeBron to move on as well. And with that said, the only thing that kind of irks me in all of this is that he went to Philadelphia on a 2-year with a player option veterans minimum deal. So about $4 million per year. Now I'm thinking, Gerald, why does this irritate you? Could it be to the fact that, he had a player option last summer and could have done essentially the same thing for the Lakers? So they would have had an extra, I don't know, $48 million to build upon. Depending on the salary cap, could have been less, but still, you get the idea. Or for people who wanted him to stay, which I'm not one of, or if you are, more respect to you. Did you want him to stay? And if that's the case, why didn't he give that same offer for the Lakers? Yeah, I'll leave you be in the comments on that. But now I'm going to go ahead and make sure I speak to John or Joe if they come in on this. So hopefully they can go ahead and share us their thoughts. But I'm kind of irked. He feels so generous. So looking for so much basketball happiness right now. Looking to make those financial sacrifices now. What happened? What is the situation that changed for him now that wasn't there 1 year ago? Just want to know. Just want to know indeed. JSJ says, "Hey, Serge, Kuminga incoming." That's still out there. I know that Cleveland signed Mario Hirschkona. If you don't remember him, he was a lottery choice many years ago. Kind of became a washout, but he's done well overseas and was just signed on a minimum contract with Cleveland. They still, I think, only have 13 players, so they still could be in the mix for a Jonathan Kuminga. But again, with the Lakers, a lot of it depends on whether or not, I guess, Atlanta plays ball with the Lakers on a sign and trade involving Jared Vanderbilt and how many picks Atlanta can pry away from the Lakers in doing so. Best League says Hazonia is trash. We'll wait and see. I mean, he's just on the minimum. So these minimum players, the ones that the Lakers have, they're on a minimum for a reason. They're at a point in their careers where they're either on the way up or they could be on the way down. So when you're at a veterans minimum and you're on the way down, like the ones the Lakers just got, Zaire Williams, and also as well Matisse Thybulle and Kevon Looney, I guess to an extent as well. These are show it to me. Show it to me you can still be a factor in this league type of contracts. With a guy like Mario Hezonja, it's just like a shot in the dark contract. So again, also a prove it to me type of contract. So we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see what happens as far as for the Lakers on their contracts. But Lakers were offering LeBron $18. Maybe 805, maybe. Again, I just don't think it really got to that far. I know Jeremy had a quote that he said the reports were that the Lakers were offering $25 million and whatnot. Again, I'm just not sure it got even to that point as far as that's concerned. It looked like they were just had different ideals, both the team and LeBron, just on parting ways already. They both had their eyes in different places, looking in different places from the get-go. So again, I think it's just for the best. I think it's for the best for the Lakers to move on from LeBron and for LeBron to move on from them. But again, we'll wait and see. Search and Destroy says, I think Thybulle will be good. I hope so, Search, because he's been terrible in the playoffs. He's only played 45 games in 2 seasons. And again, if you look at his playoff history, it's been absolutely abysmal. And if you saw the last performances from him against San Antonio, he was absolutely just putrid. His last shot that he took was an air ball from 3. So I think he shot under 9% from 3 in that series, under 20% overall from the field in that series. So again, his playoff career has not been stellar. So that's one thing. Even if he has a decent regular season, he has to be able to step it up in the playoffs. But that's the case. So he's a Laker now. Well, again, on a veterans minimum, you're taking a shot in the dark. And again, it's not a high risk. It's a 1 year deal. It's not a big deal. So why not? I don't have any problem with it. When you're going with these 1 year deals, it's fine. Zaire Williams, it's fine. So absolutely. I mean, they're low risk, high reward type deals. So again, if that's the case, and they play in the rotation, then it's worth its contract. Absolutely. 805 says, "Do you think Jokic or other superstar is now possible?" Jokic is not is to me is that's the chance I think the Lakers have, right? 805 of getting Jokic, and there's 359.5 million million reasons why he will not be a Laker. It's a $360 million contract extension next year he's looking at with Denver. I just don't think he passes that up. And coincidentally, I don't think that they would do a sign and trade with the Lakers to make it easier for the Lakers to sign him as well, even if he asked for it. You just saw them go through and get played. They got played as far as with Spencer Jones signing by Oklahoma City. Sam Presti did them dirty with that offer sheet that was matched by Denver, but it's like a 2 year, $12 million deal. If it is on the surface, but if in their current state, you take a look at how much it's going to cost them in taxes for that 2 year, $12 million deal, you'll realize now that there was a shrewd move by Sam Presti and doing that offer sheet indeed. So I thought that was kind of funny. It's just like, okay, I'm going to stick it to you. Stick it to you. Why Denver give Jokic for AR? No picks. No. Yeah. Best league, it's not going to happen. AR again should have been signed and traded this summer, but again, wait and see. He's going to look good in February, but can he look good in April, May, or June? However far the Lakers go, that's a question for him, and that's going to have to be answered. But the thing is, now he's no longer on a more reasonable $14-15 million contract. He is now on a $40 million plus contract, and so he has to produce when it matters the most. And I'm not talking about February against, you name the team. I have, when it comes to AR, he has to produce and play defense like it matters the most. And, because you'll say, oh, well, Williams or a Vanderbilt or a Thiero or a Bible will go ahead and guard whatever star player in the playoffs. Yeah, that looks good until you do that switching defense that JJ and most NBA teams absolutely love, where they switch and they never switch back. So it usually ends up with the hunting and the targeting, and as far as what we saw, the Cleveland series against New York with James Harden, how James Harden repeatedly got hunted down by the New York Knicks, and they roasted him continuously. That's what I fear for Austin Reeves in a playoff setting. No matter who you have, as far as a Williams or a Thibault or whoever defender that you got alongside of him, because you can easily run a pick, run a screen, and switch. And they do the switching, and they never switch back, and it ends up with a guy on an island all by himself. And that's my concern in the playoffs, indeed, with AR. But it is great to have you here. We still have a shot at Watson. I mean, you can, soy Domingo, but the Lakers are pretty close to their as far as their cap, as far as what they can do. I think at this point they're going to sign whoever, if another team comes into play like we saw with Oklahoma City, and they go ahead and they sign an offer sheet to Peyton Watson. I think that Denver's going to match it. They're just going to have to play cap gymnastics and trade some people. I think Christian Braun. I think I don't know, Aaron Gordon. Maybe you would trade Aaron Gordon, but yeah, they would have to get rid of some of their depth, but they probably will keep Peyton Watson as far as it's concerned. Whoever the Lakers can make an offer sheet, or any other team can make an offer sheet, but they have like I think 48 hours to go ahead and match, and that's the problem indeed. What's up, Vari? What's going on? How you doing, sports baby? Great to have you guys here once again. It is the Lakers Fast Break. So I want to ask you guys this. And 805, I truly appreciate the super chat. I'll go ahead and I'll share your super chat first. What is the path, Gerald, for making us NBA Dodgers? Well, the first thing you would have to do is fire Rob Pelinka. But even if that's the case, 805, as you see with teams like Oklahoma City, and you see with teams that are out there, even New York Knicks had to get rid of, as far as some players on their team, some vital backups on their team, as far as being able to go ahead, and they couldn't resign. It's very hard and difficult under the current collective bargaining agreement to sustain long-term high-level success. And we're going to see that in action, as far as with Oklahoma City trying to keep that core three together and build around them, because right now they also have to worry about next season or next summer extensions for Case and Wallace and AJ Mitchell, if they want to keep them long term. So we'll have to see if they go ahead and sign them, but that would put them in a more perilous position than they are now. So they had to shed over $200 million in tax penalties this summer with what they did, just to get under the allotted cap. So the path to making us the NBA Dodgers is A, getting rid of Rob Pelinka, and B, not being scared of the second tax apron. That is probably the only two things that you really need to do if that's the case, or at least that's a good starting position from, as far as a base from, is you cannot worry about that second tax apron if you truly want to go ahead and build a team and dominate going forward. But the problem is now you're going to probably be like the other 29 teams in the league, where you are scared and petrified of that second tax apron. So then you're going to have a GM that really knows what they're doing about trying to build a team, maintain a high level team, and still be able to continue to maintain that high level in the CBA era, and which is, again, something I would not task upon Rob Pelinka, because I just don't think he's up to it. But here today to go ahead and talk about LeBron James. Is a good man indeed. It is, of course, the guy behind the Joe Sorrell experiment. It is, of course, Joe Sorrell. And thank you again, 805, for the super chat. Truly appreciate it. Joe, I'll hit you up with this question from 805 in a second here. But the first question I have for you is, LeBron James heads to Philly, and wish him well. Thank you for everything you did. Appreciate it. Move on. All right, great. But it's the contract that he took in
You're
Philly.
awesome.
It's the contract he took. Oh, thank you, DeMarcus. Sorry, it's Tamarcus. Tamarcus Bonds. Thank you. Appreciate you becoming a member. Thank you so much for doing so. So let me ask you this, Joe. Let me ask you this, and I will get back to your question, 805. Let me get back your question with this. With him taking the minimum, the veterans minimum, supposedly for 2 years, it's a player option the second year. Why? A lot of people are asking, and a lot of people are mad. I know in your chats that you've had to deal with it, you've gotten the same thing. Why couldn't he have done that a year ago?
Because he didn't have to, because he hit the wall finally with the NBA and his ability to get maximum money. And Jeanie's no longer in charge. So if Jeanie was probably still in charge, they probably would have given him a 1 year, $30 million contract. But luckily she's not. This likely had more to do with the fact that the Lakers did not want LeBron James. It makes a lot of sense to keep him at that cost if it's just talent related. But LeBron James absorbs too much of the atmosphere on teams, and for the Lakers to truly rebuild through the Luka era, you had to get rid of LeBron James. And of course, his lackeys make it like it was LeBron's choice. And there might have been some possibility that they thought maybe they could get more money, but then they finally hit the wall. So all this waiting around, see, there's no other way to put this other than to be a complete jerk and be insulting. But see, the general population are so easily manipulated. It's why we're constantly in flux in society. The simplest thing will set them off, and they'll just assume it's something that somebody else is feeding because people are dumb naturally. They're just stupid. So everyone thought that LeBron is being a drama queen and he's trying to get this attention. No, that's not likely what he was doing. What he was doing is he was hoping to get more money. And then he finally hit the wall. And then he made the choice to say, and this is the good part when you're looking at it from an objective standpoint. He looked at the rosters, let's say in LA, which I still think they didn't want him back. But let's just, for the discussion, let's just say LA would have taken him back. He looked at the roster in LA. He obviously wasn't going to be able to win with that, with him there and this roster. He looked at the Cleveland roster, probably not there either. He looked at the Miami, too depleted, too top heavy. Then Philly presented itself, and he's like, Edgecombe, Maxey, Embiid, me, and I can sort of still be the guy because no one knows who Tyrese Maxey is in the general population. Edgecombe, talented guy, but not an everyday name that people know. Embiid is Embiid. Yeah, he's popular. Yeah, we know him. Yeah, he might have some notoriety, but he's not LeBron James. So LeBron James gets all that on top of the fact that he's also going to have a chance to win because it is in the East, and this is a relatively young team that's on the, that's in their prime. Max is in his prime. Edgecombe's going to be probably better this year. So it's a good decision from a winning standpoint because they actually have a chance should Embiid stay healthy, which he hasn't. But it's a better chance going with that than it is going to Cleveland or going to Miami at this point based off the roster construction. And that's essentially what probably happened. That's how it played out. And there was no other way. There's no team out there. But we already knew this. If you know we're not tax experts, but we do know the simple stuff. We knew that there were, a handful of teams, if that could actually sign guys outright. And a lot of that is because of their dumb CBA, right? You can't really sign anybody. You sign one guy over here, your cap's gone. So, because you're also forced to spend a certain percentage of it. So, who really ever really has enough money to spend on a marginal player or a player that's shouldn't probably get paid a lot, but you may want to because you want to get him, blah, 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 blah. So Jaylen Brown is the big fish in Philly. We already know that. That's why I didn't mention him out of the gate because I wanted to first name the guys that were already in Philly. So then you throw in Jaylen Brown, and Jaylen Brown has had that experience of working with Jason Tatum. He's won a championship with another star, but Jaylen Brown is also not a household name either. LeBron James is the star of that team. Jaylen Brown might be a better all-around player, but LeBron is the star of that team. But the good thing about LeBron is he is a team-first talent. He will pass. He will contribute to that. And that always makes things much easier for the team, regardless of whether he's a diva or not. That's the other part of the solution. So be ready for a lot of load management between LeBron James and Joel Embiid. This is likely going to be a season where you're probably going to see Joel Embiid play 45 games, LeBron 45 to 50 games. Edgecombe is young, he'll be fine. Maxey's young, he'll be fine. Jaylen Brown is young, he'll be fine. But those two, the focus is going to be on keeping LeBron James and Joel Embiid as minimal in terms of activity as possible, and you have Jaylen Brown, Edgecombe, and Maxey to pick up the slack throughout an 82-game season. If the Sixers are going to say, if we can get Embiid and LeBron healthy going into the playoffs, it probably gets them to the finals. Because it's the East.
Yeah. And in the East, it is highly unpredictable. There still is a pathway, a clear pathway for him there. And I can understand his decision, Joe. I'm not I know that some people were shocked by it. It just, okay. They made a hard pitch for him, and I can understand that. And I, like you said, if it all clicks and they're all healthy, they do have a pathway in the East. There is a pathway in the East, much more so than in the West, because you do have Oklahoma and San Antonio, that whatever team that LeBron is on in the West will not match up with those two teams unless he's on one of those two teams. So with that said, though, Joe, when it comes to it with LeBron, I think still people are irked that, I'll mention our good friend John Costa, who may or may not be here tonight. He's going to try and make it. But if he can't, I still want to let people know that if you want to check out Lakers Corner, one of his latest shorts, he was very ticked off. He dropped a few words that I won't repeat here in regards to his dissatisfaction with LeBron in not doing that same kind of financial sacrifice last season. Now, mind you, it is Rob Pelinka. You never know what he's going to do with another $40 or $50 million in cash to spend. May not be the right decisions. It may be the right decisions. Who knows with him? But still, having the opportunity to do so last summer would have been nice, because we talked about, Joe, you and I went back and forth for months on it. Like, well, the Lakers really can't do anything, but who knows, with another extra $40 million, or in the case right now, $48 million would have been the difference. You never know. They could have done something more to fortify last year's team. That's what he is so pissed about in his latest Lakers Corner.
I think it's a waste of time to think about it.
But there are a lot of people mad about it. There are a lot of people mad about it, Joe.
It doesn't matter. Being mad is a waste of time. This team went south the moment they got Russell Westbrook. It's never changed. And if going to the Western Conference Finals and winning a round suits your fancy, you probably haven't been a Laker fan that long, or you've sunken into the mediocrity of probably 25 NBA teams currently. The LeBron James era of Laker basketball was a success because there at least was a championship that was there. And I don't give really two hoots about COVID year, bubble year, Mickey Mouse year, because before that championship, LeBron James was discredited for the other three championships as well. So that tells me right there that those who criticize the championship have already been criticizing championships, because you're delusion and you're stupid. Because that's what makes you feel good, is to never give credit to people who do things well. You're a loser. Losers talk like that. Oh, he didn't earn in 2012 because there was only 66 games. Oh, he didn't really win 2013 because Ray Allen had a shot. As if John Paxson and Steve Kerr and Robert Horry and Derek Fisher and Pau Gasol didn't hit shots for Kobe and Mike. Like, you realize there's 5 guys on a team on the court at the same time that play together? This isn't LeBron versus the San Antonio Spurs. You have to play 5-on-5. Numbnuts. And then the worst one was 2016. Oh, they only won because Draymond dipshit got suspended. He should have been suspended two months earlier, let alone when he did. And what happened in the last 2 games? He was suspended for game 5. You have 2 more games to win at home. So the discredit of the LeBron James, and I'm talking to you Laker fans too, by the way. I'm talking to you Laker fans who discredit the championship because you hate LeBron James that much. My dislike for LeBron James off the court is different than on the court, because if you don't appreciate the talent, and again, LeBron is not a R. Kelly or a Diddy, okay? He's not that guy, but he is a dipshit off the court, and there's a lot of criticism there that's warranted. But I'm talking about on the court, his time in LA. And maybe some of you were young. I don't know. There's a lot of young guys these days that are watching the Laker basketball. But I remember Ryan Kelly, Sacre, Tariq Black, and so on and so on and so on. Jordan Clarkson before he turned into I don't know what the hell he turned into, a tattoo freak. And then you had who? You had a young D'Angelo Russell. You had a young Julius Randle. You remember that era? That 3 years of disastrous basketball? Yeah. You want that? Would you rather have had that or LeBron come? Because if you didn't want LeBron to come, then you care about losing on your terms. You don't really give two craps about the Lakers. The excitement of LeBron James wasn't the Shaq excitement or the Pau Gasol excitement or later the Anthony Davis excitement. It wasn't excitement like that. However, it was very, very nice to know, wow, throughout all this stuff that's going on, you had Carmelo Anthony, you had LaMarcus Aldridge, you had all these superstars at the time that basically said no to the Lakers, and here's the best player of his era, and there's no argument that anyone can bring in that you can say he isn't. He's better than Steph. He's better than Durant. I don't care what you bring to the table. LeBron James is number one, and he's coming to LA. What that told me as a Laker fan, that the Laker brand, even through this garbage run of 5 years of no playoffs, you're still able to get the best player on the planet to LA.
Once again, it is the Lakers Fast Break. It is Lakers Weekend along with Joe Soro. It is me, Gerald Glassford. Thanks again for watching, listening. So with that said, I'm going to have to go ahead and move on from LeBron real quick because I wanted you to answer 805's question, being that you are our Dodgers expert. Dodgers lost today. Just never like you always say, they can never finish it out. They love the success in the first two, and then just the go-home games, they just go home on. But with that said, what's the path to making the Lakers the NBA Dodgers?
Impeccable drafting, which is not going to happen anytime soon unless they accumulate draft picks. The quickest way, they have to cross their fingers and hope that Jokic that opts out of his deal next summer. They're going to need a little luck because the structure of the NBA is a little different than baseball. Stan Kroenke owns an MLS soccer team. He owns a team in the NHL. He owns a team in the NFL, and he owns a team in the NBA. So all those systems have different structures, and he's able to win a championship in each one. So Stan Kroenke, Mark Walter are kind of cut from the same cloth. They're very thorough. They're going to use their resources. There's no cap on resources, I'll tell you that. A lot of investments, a lot of smart people that they're going to send there. The only issue with the Lakers right now is they still have the cancers on the team, and I think that's because Mark Walter is a nice man, and he's trying to ease the transition while Jeannie's there until she's gone. Once Jeannie's gone, I'm pretty sure Rob's going to be gone before Jeannie, and then at that point he can bring in his own guys, and then things will get a little bit better. The structure, the ability to get players to LA via trades. Here's something to think about. Sometimes you got to get out of your own head sometimes and realize, hey, there's another strategy. And that's like anything in life. If you feel like you're being taken advantage of, yeah, at some point you got to be a man, grow some nuts, and work around it, right? So Something to keep in mind, something for everyone to plant the seed in your head and remember this. Look what happened with Jaylen Brown. What happened with Jaylen Brown may start happening more as this system continues to be what it is. Everyone, again, this is the deadhead morons that have no brains, which is pretty much everybody. There's very few people that are not like this. Everyone saw the trade that Boston made and said, "Oh my God, I can't believe Brad Stevens. Oh my God, I can't. He traded him to Philly for nothing. Oh my God." This is the system they voted for. Supermax deals for more than one player on the same team are going to be extremely hard to maintain. The only way they're going to be able to do that, it's going to be similar to how they do it in the NFL. You got to get lucky in the draft. You got to get a Edgecombe in the draft, let's say, but he's a high pick, right? If you're winning, it's going to be even harder, right? You got to be like Presti and get these guys in the second round or get them in free agency. If you're going to have a supermax for two players on your team, you're going to have to hit in the draft and you're going to have immediate talent progress immediately so that you're able to compete. If these guys need 2 or 3 years to develop, you're going to have a problem because you can't pay anybody. See where I'm going with this?
Roy, just let you know, Roy, he can get a extension next year, $359.5 million on a 5-year deal. So he will not exactly be a free agent. That's if he is not decided to sign it this year. He is still eligible to get one next summer before he becomes a free agent. He is still allowed to get one. And if he signs then, can be up to a 5 years, $359.5 million extension, just to let you know. So, or it's a 5-year, $359.5 million deal. I get what you're saying.
Just keep it simple. He's going to get more money if you wait.
Subscriber.
But if you're a smart businessman, you don't just look away and assume. If the Golden State Warriors had done that in 2015 and 16, guess what? LeBron would have a couple more championships right now. The system is set up the way it is. It's our job as voices on a Lakers show involving the Lakers to at least know a little bit about the setup of what could come or what may not come. So as of right now, you ask a great question. When is the Mark Walter era in Lakerland going to start looking like the Dodgers? Because the Dodgers didn't flip right away. It took them about 2 or 3 years. Yeah, they were winning divisions still, but they didn't really become the Dodgers until 2017. They got screwed in that World Series. They should have had the championship there. They got screwed in 2018 by the Red Sox. They were caught cheating too. We forgive the Red Sox a little bit because all they've been doing is sending iconic players or amazing talent in the minors to make up for it. So we've kind of gone easy on the Red Sox. But the Dodgers, it took them. The Mark Walter Group bought the Dodgers in 2012, and they really started running things like in 2013. So they won the division in 13, won the division in 14. Probably should have made a run in 14, but Kershaw kind of screwed up the 7th inning against the Cardinals in that playoff run. Hanley and Ramirez got hit in the ribs in 13. 15, they played a hard series against the Mets, and then 16 was the year of the Cubs. Cubs were on a run there. So they still needed to kind of get through that, and then 2017 is when the Dodgers became the Dodgers. So in this case, you're probably looking at maybe not a similar timeline, because when you have somebody like Luka, you didn't have a Luka. You didn't have a Luka on the Dodgers. You had Kershaw, but Kershaw's every 5th day player. They didn't really have a Luka. They had like Justin Turner, and then Bellinger was an amazing rookie, and you had a really good team that was amazing. They would have won the championship if they didn't get cheated, but they didn't become the iconic Dodgers until Mookie Betts arrived. Mookie Betts is like the Derek Jeter of the Dodgers. And then, of course, when Shohei Ohtani came in 2024. So the Lakers they're kind of ahead a little bit with Luka. And then now it's, okay, what is going to present itself here within the next year or two in terms of talent? As of right now, I have my eyes on the guy over there in Denver. Until he signs, I'm going to be waiting. They don't have to worry about not, waiting or not waiting. Either way, you can still sit there and kind of just observe a little bit. Something opens up, you got an opportunity probably, because you put Jokic and Luka together in a 3 or 4 year run. I don't see how they're not winning at least a couple championships. I mean, you want to talk about the perfect combination? There was no better combination in my time than Kobe and Shaq. The 1-2 punch. But my God, Jokic and Luka together, woo, they're like brothers. Oh my God. So for me, I got to give that some attention until it's not.
Best league, I do want to tell you, okay, Roy is right. He is a free agent, and that's when he signs the 5-year, $359.5 million deal with Denver. To come to the Lakers on that deal, they would have to do a sign and trade, and I seriously doubt Denver would want to work with the Lakers on a sign and trade. So he would have to sign for he would have to sign for less years and less money. But again, his maximized deal. And Roy is correct. He's extending his stay, but it is a free agent deal for 5 years, $359.5 million. That's what he can get as a maximum next summer from Denver, and only Denver, unless he has signed and traded. Which again, I really think you just saw them play hardball over the weekend with Oklahoma City, who. They matched the offer on Spencer Jones, and now as of now, Joe, $60 million as far as tax plus in tax penalties right now, because they made that 2-year deal. That was nifty, but that was Sam Presti just turning the screws on that one, Joe. That was shrewd.
If the Nuggets want to manage their money, which historically they've always managed their money well in the NBA, you could look it up. If indeed Jokic signs a supermax, they're likely going to have to trade Jamal Murray, especially considering he's never available half the year, and a lot of times too hurt for playoff runs. So the Denver Nuggets here, part of the intrigue with the Jokic thing isn't so much, let me hope and wish that Jokic is going to go and play with his buddy and Luka. It's not that. It's the structure of what Denver is going to have to put together to make that team competitive within this CBA. You pay Jokic the supermax. How are you going to pay everybody else?
But then again,
when you have Jokic in LA, right? When you have Jokic in LA, remember, Luka got traded. He didn't get the supermax. Jokic is not getting the supermax should he opt out and force a sign and trade to LA, because that's probably what's going to happen, so that he can get at least the 5th year. But he won't get the supermax. Now you're talking a different ballgame. You're going to have 2 of the baddest mofos in the game that aren't making the supermax on the same team. Now that money thing starts to make a little bit more sense in terms of building a depth-filled team. It's so, they've made this thing so confusing. That's why I don't want anything near anything like this in baseball. It's not just because I'm a Dodger fan and the Dodgers are winning. I didn't say anything about New York needing a salary cap when they were winning 4 titles in 5 years. I never say I'm not on record, unfortunately, but we never talked about that. I never was whining about why the Giants were winning 3 out of 5. Like, it only started now with the Dodgers for whatever reason, because people ran out of excuses. The key here is you have to work with what the system is now. Well, the system says if you're going to pay these guys supermaxes and you're going to have more than one on a team, look what happened to Jaylen Brown. That's likely what's going to start happening. Or it won't happen at all.
I just thought that was pretty slick when they because OKC I think knew they weren't going to get him, Joe, and that's the thing. You don't necessarily do it to make you improve your team. You do it because you just want to make sure that you put in the hurt, you lay in the hurt to Denver and make and force them to decide if they want that player or not. And right now, yeah, it's I get the tax penalty right now for Denver. If they don't change a thing, Joe, it's $68 million for this season as of now.
They're going to have to make some decisions. Denver is going to sign Jokic should he accept that. There's no doubt that they're going to do that. The question now is Jokic going to do it when the time comes? And I'm going to hold on to the 2027, 2028 year on when likely the Lakers are going to probably compete for a title.
So this is a gap year in your estimation, because that's all I've been hearing lately.
It's been a gap year since last year. That's on record too. Can't. There's not enough talent. There's not enough development time for bringing up the young guys. Plus, you have Austin Reeves is going to be the second highest paid player on this team. I'm on record saying that if you go into the 2027 season and you finish the 2026, 2027 season as Austin as your second best player, you're not winning a championship.
Well, you've been saying that for a while as far as it's concerned, because we've talked about where his best fit is, and it is as a sixth man as far as on a championship rotation. So, as far as watching him and being able to go ahead and seeing what we see with what's upcoming for this year's team, yeah, a lot of people are now really describing this as a gap year. And if this is a gap year, why did Rob go out and spend so much money, overpaying, in my estimation, on several contracts in order to go ahead and field a team which you and a lot of other people are saying is a gap year?
Because that was the talent available, and the NBA has strict rules saying that you have to spend up to 90% of your salary cap every year before the first year of the year.
You don't need to do some of these guys 3 and 4 year deals.
Well, that's a Rob Pelinka problem, which seems to not go away. And not only that, he adds the player option there because he's got some kind of hard on for player option. I'm sorry. Yeah, player options.
I mean,
he's the guy that goes into a car dealership and loses the negotiation every time because he wilts. That's what the player option is. What were the Utah Jazz going to do if they gave him a team option? Not trade him? What was he going to say? No, I'm not going to the Lakers because he's giving me a player option.
And you gave up all those picks for Walker Kessler.
You gave him really 2 first-round picks. The others are swaps. It's just timing of this is not good. The talent was very laxed. And the Lakers needed a center who could play some defense, and that was the guy that was available. And they have to spend that money.
Okay. Let's see. Again,
I wish the rules weren't what they were, but it's funny because they bring up this. Oh, we need they need at least a salary floor in baseball. I'm like, well, you guys this again. People are so clueless and stupid. How about no?
A subscriber.
How about no salary floor or no salary cap? Well, how is it going to be competitive? How's it going to be competitive? How many titles did San Antonio win, Gerald? 5 in the last since 1999.
Yes.
Would you say they're a large market team?
No.
Okay. What about Detroit? Would you say they're a large market? I mean, they used to be, but not probably anymore, right? They won in 2004. Oklahoma City just won last year. Let's see here. Who else? Okay, Golden State's a big market. New York's a big market. New York hadn't won a championship until this year, right? For what, 53 years? What was their excuse? Boston's won 2 championships since 1986. So it's just LA. Just call it LA Laker tax. LA Laker structure to keep them from winning. Stop BSing people. David Stern had a direct line to the LA Lakers. The moment Michael Jordan retired, everything after that was about power and keeping the Lakers at bay. He implemented the zone to stop Shaq. And when he did that, he basically killed at least a couple of years of Shaq's prime by doing that. And it cost the Lakers a 4-peat. Because Phil Jackson was joking about how the Spurs, and that's, you got to credit Popovich and how smart his team was, where they were able to run the 1-2-2 zone without getting caught, right? Or the 2-3 zone, whatever you want to call it, that they had at that time. But as soon as it's not a coincidence. They blamed it on Shaq's toe. They blamed it on whatever. I'm like, dude, they were in the playoffs. They were doing fine. But it was much easier to guard Shaq when you could drop 2 or 3 guys on him, especially when you're San Antonio. But when you couldn't, it was a problem. And then after that, what was it? Everybody got their panties in a bunch when Mitch Kupchak fooled everybody and got Paul Gasol in the middle of the night when no one was looking. Popovich was whining. That's freaking pissant scumbag in Dallas. Mark Cuban was whining. Dan Gilbert probably was simmering at that point, and then eventually it came to a head when the Chris Paul trade got vetoed. All this has always been about stopping the Lakers because losers don't like winners, and they don't like winners for long. And then they'll blame it on paid for titles. They get everybody. They're jerks. They're this. They're that. This is the result, guys. This is the result. We have to watch Jalen Brunson, some 6'1" guy, win a championship. We have to watch Oklahoma City win a championship. We have to watch the Denver Nuggets win a championship. Is it exciting for you that those teams are winning? How about the Toronto Raptors? Is everyone happy about the Toronto Raptors besides the people in Toronto winning a championship? 8 different champions in a row. I hope you enjoy your mediocrity. You can have a champion in every. Let's all win championships, so it's fair for everybody, right? Yay! We got it. Yay! NBA's happy now. David Stern is not turning over in his grave. He got what he wanted, right? Is this what they wanted?
God, I can't type today. Lloyd Bridges, not Lloyd Bridges, because Stefan Piscano said last offseason was an A, and I'm like, Laravia and Ayton make it an A offseason? And I was quoting Lloyd Bridges in Airplane when he said, "You picked the wrong day to stop sniffing glue."
Sniffing glue.
That was such a that was so hilarious at that. I was
wrong
laughing.
week to quick methamphetamines.
Yeah, exactly. The Finney Smith quotes from last week. Why are you dwelling on DFS? Who cares at this point about DFS? Yes.
Who the hell is talking about DFS?
Stefan. He said, if I ever have any time, I'm going to make a video of all the Finney Smith quotes from last offseason.
Why?
Who would want to watch it? Are you making a video for yourself? Then that's fine. Go ahead, by all means. But who cares? Where is DFS now? There you go.
Didn't he get traded to Charlotte?
Yes. No, I didn't forget, Stefan, Marcus Smart, because Marcus Smart was the only good thing about his offseason. Remember, the bad things were Ayton and Laravia, who clearly were a negative from what they were signed for. So don't tell me that's an A offseason. You have no and nothing to stand on when you say that. It's absolutely just like that. Like, where's Aiton now? Laravia. I mean, Laravia is just like since 2026 hit, it went in the toilet. So yeah, it can't be an A off season with that. It just cannot be an A off season, no matter how well Marcus Smart worked out. And how well did Marcus Smart work out, Joe? Where is he now? The Lakers were so just grateful for his performance that they let him go for a smaller deal, Joe, than Colin Sexton.
Well, sometimes a player can play out his talent in that year, and you recognize this is probably it, and that might happen with Marcus Smart. You might not have seen him play as well as he did this. He was slowly on the decline. He was able to muster up a little bit more here, but his availability, his youth is not there anymore. And that's just what it is. You got to go young, guys. If you want to build this next phase, you got to have the guys that can be available and play. And I think Thibault is essentially a younger version of Marcus Smart. Might not win a defensive player of the year.
In playoffs. He is abysmal in the playoffs. So that again, it's a veterans minimum deals, Joe. So it's low risk. So why not?
He's made a couple of all defensive teams. So you essentially get someone younger, pay him less, and hope that the Luka Doncic and JJ Redick are able to pull out more talent when it matters in the game and while they play.
Smart is healthier than Thibault. Well, again, it would have been nice if we had both, but again, I don't know. I wasn't there for the negotiations at all. If they even talked to Smart or his representation. Kirk says Bronny is redundant. Barlow is a starting level defensive power.
Well, the Lakers are already one player over the allowance, so there's going to be a trade or there's going to be a release at some point between now and the beginning of the year. As of right now. So if you look at the roster, you have Zaire Williams, Matisse Thybulle that have come in. They're going to make the team. Obviously, Cameron Carr is going to make the team. Looney's going to make the team. Connect makes too much money to just be let go. Laravia's making $6 million. Hardy's making $6 million. So, and then of course everybody else is the new signees and Luka and Reeves. Then you have Manon. You have Suter. Well, Suter's not signed yet. He's just owed money. Fierro, you're not going to dump him. Kaluma, are you going to, if that guy performs, are you going to dump him? Manon, AK?
Well, the two ways don't are out of it. It's the 15.
So the two ways don't. Yeah,
we don't
have to worry about the two ways. But as of right now, the ones that are going to stay,
there's 16 guaranteed contracts.
Right? So every guy right now. Well, hold on. Let me look. Let me be sure. Yes.
There's 16 guaranteed and three two ways.
I got confused for a second when I was looking at my list. So right now, because I saw Bronny at 15, and then I didn't look at Adu. So Adu is listed under 16 in my list. They're not dumping Adu. They're not dumping Zaire. They're not dumping Thibault. They're not dumping Carr, Looney, Connect, Laravia, Hardy, Sexton, Vanderbilt.
Laravia, Laravia's.
They're not going to dump Laravia making $6 million. They're not going to do that.
Well, not going to wait.
If this stays as is, and they don't make a trade, they're going to make a trade. I have very, very little feeling that they're not. They're going to make a trade. But let's just say they don't. They're dumping. They're going to cut Bronny James or trade him. If they can get a second-round pick for him, it's a win. Even more. Send him to Philly. Let him go play with his pops the next 2 years. Let him have their hallmark moment over there now. I'm sure the Philly fans over there are going to love it too, by the way.
Once again, it is the Lakers Fast Break. It is Lakers Weekend. It is Joe Soro along with me, Gerald Glassford. Thanks again for watching and listening. Yes, it is 16 guaranteed contracts. So if they don't get this magical Atlanta trade done to get Jonathan Kuminga on the beloved sign-in trade, which will get him more money, which is what he's hoping for, then the Lakers would have to waive and stretch somebody, unless somebody really wants those Lakers seconds, and they have another team to trade with, Joe. But time is running out.
You only dump and stretch Vanderbilt if you're acquiring an important piece. There is no important piece left that's worth stretching Vanderbilt.
Because Atlanta's at 17, just to give you an idea, 17 players. So,
well, Kuminga's not going to be a Hawk. Just a matter of where he's going now.
No, but he wants to get a trade. His team wants to initiate a trade to sign and trade, so that he can get a larger contract out of it.
I'm pretty sure Atlanta's gonna help him do that. We just don't know where yet.
But the thing is, the taking in of players, that's the problem, because again,
and that's what's holding it up. And that's what's holding it up.
Yeah,
that's what's holding it up. So at some point, Kuminga's he's probably doing what LeBron did here. He stretched it out to see if there was a possibility of something, and then he finally hit the wall. He's like, no one's going to pay me more than $4 million a year the next 2 years. So might as well go to Philly and see if I can maybe win another championship, because I'm not winning in Miami, not winning in Cleveland, I'm not winning in LA. There's always one of these trades, Gerald, in August. There's always that late August transaction that happens. So this is probably going to be the one.
Yes, Drip Show, they are done paying. That left quite a while back. It seemed like it took forever, but yes, they're done, Drip Show. At Drip Show Shop on social media. Get it. All the good stuff that you can, as far as like right behind me with canvas art. Of course, Drip Show.
I wouldn't mind having Kuminga at 10 mil per, even maybe 15. The Lakers need a wing, but I don't know. I don't know if he's in the. I don't know if he's a Dion Waiters type player where he just thinks he's better than he really is.
He thinks he's a lot better than what he really is.
Yeah, and is that going to affect? Is that going to affect the psyche of the team? If that's the case, when does desperation of a wing versus dealing with a desperate wing? How do you make that call? All right, here's the idea then. You give him what he wants, but the second year is a team option. How about that? I'll give you $20 million this year, but if you suck, we're jumping you out.
Yeah. Do you think Rob is actually going to sign Mr. Player
No,
option?
he's too weak to do that. He'll give him a player option and then probably give him a bonus, a trade, the no trade clause to boot,
and a kicker. Yes, and a kicker.
Oh yeah, he'll throw a kicker in there.
Don't forget the kicker. So, yep. Looks like Steve, we want to root and Smart instead. Look what they signed for, Swung. I think that's what a lot of people are talking about, or a lot of people are asking about when they see what the team signed in free agency, and what players like Rui and Smart and Jackson Hayes, who Joe was very complimentary of throughout the entire season. I even said that it was his best season last season, as far as it's concerned. And he signs, and we both thought he deserved a raise, and he got one. He just got one with Utah. And the Lakers, you see what they have behind as far as Walker Kessler is concerned. You have 7'2" right there, and then after that, you don't have much in the way of height. You have 6'9", and you have 6'9". Where's your rim protection? I mean, Looney's a good rebounder. He sets screens. Terrible finisher. I mean, people couldn't tell that to me enough as far as Warriors fans, as far as once we sign Looney, as far as one of the worst finishers in the league. But still, again, he hustles, sets those screens, does a lot of the dirty stuff. So again, at a veteran's minimum, you can't expect a whole lot from that. And if you do get a whole lot more than that, then there you go, more power to you. But yeah, again, where is your height? Where is your rim protection beyond? What if Walker Kessler does get hurt again? He only played 5 games last season, Joe. Does that concern you?
He had to fix his shoulder. I believe it was a labrum issue, right?
I believe it was a torn labrum.
So coming from someone who's had a reconstructive labrum, and I had an excessive tear, like a moron, I let it continue to get worse and worse because I thought I was being a tough guy and I'll play through the pain until I finally realized, wait a minute, there's something wrong here. I got to go get it figured out. Get an MRI, and it didn't just say tear. It said extensive tear. Sucker took 2 years to heal after surgery. That's out of the way. And it's a shoulder, and it's a guy that isn't going to be pitching, so he's playing basketball. So it's not going to be as much of a problem playing basketball. And in today's game, guys, that question is very, very, it's almost like a trick question. Is this guy going to play a lot now this year? Well, who does? Besides Bridges in New York. Who else?
As I was told quite a bit.
Powell plays, right? Powell? Was it
Jake
Powell
LaRavia.
plays every game, basically, right?
Jake LaRavia, until he was actually coach DNP'd in the playoffs.
Yeah. I'm talking about real, like, impact players. I'm not talking about bench players.
Not even going to go there. But again,
just because the kicker is in every game doesn't mean it's not the same as Aaron Rodgers playing 17 straight games.
But that's the hard sell with LaRavia. It's funny because his performance after the start of the year just went into the toilet. But that's what people would come back with. When you're coming back at me that he played every game, what does that tell you? Just because he plays every game, I mean, like Joe says about the participation trophy, do you want a trophy for that? What are you getting actually accomplished? And it just shows you how bad the Lakers bench was.
That's the society we're in. That's what's been created. We champion guys that play now. Wait, I'm sorry. I thought this was your job. Oh well, they're upstanding citizens off the court. Oh, really? Oh, are they supposed to be bad? Like, what is this? What kind of discussion is this? You really want a medal for doing things you're supposed to do? Aren't you an NBA player? Aren't you supposed to be a upstanding citizen and be a role model for your maybe not to strangers, but can maybe be a role model to your teammates, the people that you work with, right? All of a sudden, we've become this society. Oh, well, he walks to work instead of drives, and he helps the environment. Really? Oh, wow. Okay, great. Now what? How does that help the team win?
And that's the thing. Well, that's the thing. I wanted to ask you this, though, because Williams and, again, Thibault, they're found money. They're on veterans minimums. I hope they work out. A lot of people are really high on that. And I'm again, cheap deals, why not? But, if JJ is going to continue to be the JJ that we know, Joe, he's going to be like what most 98% of most standard NBA coaches and rely on those veterans first. And will that come at the cost of guys like Thiero or Carr as far as getting some valuable playing time and experience? Coaches, like we see it all the time. They always prefer playing veterans and giving them a shot first, usually in rotations.
NBA basketball for young players first year, second year players, especially if they're raw talent. You have to play a lot better than you're expected to show the coach you can be relied on.
Like Connect in that first few months.
Connect was great because, like anything else in this game, when you can shoot, you have an opportunity to play. Connect was shooting and shooting well for a rookie. Cameron Carr has been scouted to be a good shooter, which is great. Problem is he's not good at everything else. Maybe a little bit of defense, but he's too slow on the breaks. He's too slow in terms of developing the play. He doesn't really dribble well, can't dribble in traffic. If he did some of that in a, let's say, above average capacity, he would have been a lottery pick. So what does he have to do now? He has to develop that. J.J. Redick has to teach him that. He has to be attentive to that. Is Luka going to be a leader there? Is Austin going to be a leader to help him as well? All that stuff factors in, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that's going to take time. The speed of the NBA. The baseball is ridiculously hard. It's very hard. Playing basketball is actually much easier than playing baseball because you fail nonstop in baseball. In basketball, you got guys like Luka, you got guys like LeBron in his prime, you got guys like Steph in their prime. These guys are hitting 50%, hitting 50% from three, hitting 90% for the free throw line. Like, they'll do that, and they'll do that for years. That's why they're great. In baseball, a good player is going to hit, like, especially now, they're going to barely hit 300, hit 30 home runs and get like 85 RBIs and make the All-Star team. However, when you're a young player going to the NBA, dealing with guys that are the size of trucks that can jump out the building, it's hard to adapt right away. So the Lakers do not have young talent that's going to be like a VJ Edgecombe. There's no way that they're not going to be that guy his rookie year, or a Cooper Flagg. And even Cooper Flagg, as great as he was last year, it doesn't translate to wins. You look at Wemby; he didn't translate to wins the first couple of years. It's too difficult of a transition. So, what the Lakers, for the Lakers to really surprise and go, whoa, I didn't know they were going to be this good. Walker Kessler has to be almost an all-star center and kind of like a defensive player of the year type player. Austin Reeves is going to have to know how to shoot better. And Luka has to be the MVP. And then everything else needs to kind of be a role dedicated setup where everyone knows their role and they do their role well. That's the only way they're going to compete, which is basically everybody has to be perfect. We're asking Austin Reeves to be a better shooter. He's not working on his shooting to be a better shooter. So that's probably not going to happen because he's not going to be a better athlete no matter what he does. Luka could win the MVP. Kessler, I don't know. He's a defensive center, isn't he?
Well, Luka will have to be, for this team to compete, and that'll be my next question coming, Joe. But for Luka, for this team to compete, Joe, Luka has to play at a top 3 level in the NBA.
I actually think he has to be the number one, clear-cut number one. Now, here's the problem. Here's the problem with that. I've said this a few times on this show. The last time a Laker won an MVP that wasn't a 1 seed was the last year. It might have been the year after, but it was in 75-76. Kareem won the MVP where it was voted on by the players. After that, it was done by media. And the media is generally sitting in the Midwest and up in the Northeast. Even if they work on the West Coast, they're all, you notice you know, the Allie Cliftons and all these people, they're all from that area. They're all from Ohio. They're all from Missouri. They're all from the Podunk areas or the Northeast. They're not going to give Luka the MVP unless he's the 1 seed. The fact that Jokic didn't win the MVP this year was pretty bad. And that the NBA has been doing that for a long time. Michael Jordan should have 9 or 10 MVPs, and he doesn't because of voter fatigue, because of bad voters. Voters that are hypocrites, too. Voters that say, well, Luka doesn't play any defense, yet the same voters, when I look back on the voting tallies, voted for James Harden in 2018. The same a-holes who said Kobe has to win the MVP are the same ones that gave the MVP in 2017 to Russell Westbrook, who was a 7th seed, just like Kobe was in 2006. And not only that, Kobe wasn't even 2nd that year in the voting. He was 3rd behind Nash and LeBron. And a lot of those guys are the same voters. Yeah. See why I'm always bitter, guys? Because I don't like hypocrites. Hypocrites are the scum and the sewage rats of the earth. Because they'll come through a door, tell you one thing, go out the door and do another. That's a hypocrite. Hypocrites cause more problems in society than anything. It's not the gangster in the jungle in LA. He might be selling dope and gangbanging, but we at least know what he's doing. We don't know what these guys are doing when they come through the door, tell you one thing, and then go out and they do another. Just saying. Didn't want to go too deep into that, but it's, you know, I'm just trying to use some comparisons here to explain what I'm trying to say here. There is no sense. There's no good sense in a lot of the stuff we're talking about here. None of it makes sense. It's based off emotion. It's based off of opinion versus facts and skill sets and things like that.
Once again, it is Lakers weekend. It is Joe Soro along with me, Gerald Glassford. Looks like John Costa is not going to be able to make it tonight, so apologies for that. Again, truly glad to have you here. Don't forget, I do Lakers latest. I think, unless any news really hits, I'm going to a once every other day basis there as well, because the news is just, well, in August, it's just, you know, goes to a trickle. So we'll try to space it out, and then we'll see what happens for you as far as you guys are coming up here with some good shows in the not too distant future. And the Lakerholics, they are warning everyone that they want to go ahead and come back on the airwaves this weekend. So you have been warned. The Lakerholics are coming back. They mentioned to me on the chat that they want you to be added to their text chat. And I said, okay. The Lakerholics, they wanted to add you because they were talking smack about Bronny. Yes, they wanted to add you onto the text chat. And first of all, you're on like 500 chat groups already. And I said, B, do I really have to hear Joe on another? I hear him enough on the WhatsApp.
Well, the one that we're on normally is it's the No Joker show. Yeah. He'll go into his 4-paragraph diatribes, and I'm just sitting there going, I'll get the chime in the car, and I'm like,
he does love his LeBron. You gotta admit, he does. I just get the cliff notes, Joe. I go in like 3 times a day now.
This is good timing, though. This is great timing, though. Vari, aka Sports Baby, is arriving to America in Southern California at the end of this week. So all that talk I've been saying for 4 years now, hang out with me for a week. Well, he's going to hang out for me for a week. So we're going to be sending pictures. We're going to be at restaurants. We're going to be working in the heat. We're going to be talking smack. So you guys are finally going to get footage of what it is to be us in the flesh, what we do all day. I was in Arizona, by the way, G. Oh my God. I was there all weekend. Oh my God. 117 degrees on Friday, 113 degrees on Saturday.
Because that's the only place that's hotter than Vegas. Because Vegas, it will be the end of this week, Joe, 117. Phoenix, you can usually add 2 to 3 degrees on that. So, yeah, it could get over to 120, 121 in Phoenix in that area.
I'm sorry. I don't even know why. It's only for 2 months. You know how long 2 months is?
It's a long time, Joe. It's
my family lives in Arizona, and they love it there, right? Which I get the other 10 months out of the year, and they're like, hey man, we want, are you ever thinking about moving? Are you freaking crazy?
It's a killer. You just try to do everything when the sun goes down here in Vegas when it hits, because it's again 110, 112, 112, 115, 112, 112, 114, 117 on Friday. That's upcoming Friday is what it's scheduled to be. So yeah, not good.
I have a phrase in my language, but I'll translate in English. It feels like the ass end of the sun. I mean, seriously, you go outside to just go get something from the truck. And I'm like, God, my eyelashes are burning. My eyelashes hurt. In the moment I walked out of the house to get to my truck and come back.
It's bad.
It is bad, man. I can't, it gets hot here. Don't get me wrong. It gets hot in Temecula. It gets hotter than it does down in Diego, but not like that, man. That felt like there was a fireball just blowing from some, I don't know what, but yeah, man, that's just too much. 2 months is too long. I mean, at this point, if I'm gonna live in Arizona, let's say I had to live there for whatever, dude. I'm not staying there in the summer. I'm going to Canada or something.
If you bring Vari here to Vegas, yeah, it's gonna get here. It's gonna absolutely hate it.
It gets hot. It gets hot in Australia, I hear.
But yeah, it's just the dry heat, Joe. It just kicks your ass. It does. I mean, I understand. I've been, like Black says, with the humidity on top of it as a kicker, like 100 and humidity and humid, maybe just as bad as 115 here in Vegas or Phoenix with the dry heat. But yeah, just week after week of 110 plus, it just wears you down. It just beats you down after a while. Because in Vegas, it has been above 105 for weeks on end. And
that is true. Going to Flagstaff, but the problem with Flagstaff, Swung, is the people there are not my kind of people.
Well, with that said, though, Joe, I wanted to ask your final thoughts for this before we head on out, and that is ESPN on its latest rankings, off-season rankings, the post-LeBron joining Philly rankings after the dust has settled. I think it put them around 4th or 5th, whatnot, but that's not the bigger thing for us. The biggest thing is, where are the Lakers in all this? And the Lakers have been moved out of the top 10 currently on ESPN rankings. Again, that's barring any changes or any injuries or anything like that. And the season has yet to start, but they are now 11th place right now in the ESPN rankings overall in the NBA. Agree or disagree with ESPN?
Oh, I don't care what anything that.
Do you, well, just kind of vibe? Do you get the vibe of them being right around at number 9, number 10?
The acquisitions were average. Yeah. They were average from an average GM at an average time. It all bunched up together. It's just a timing thing too. I'm sure that if Jokic was available this summer, they would have signed Jokic. They wouldn't have signed Kessler, right? Kessler's the only guy that was really available. And who else? Oh, they had a guy in-house that was available to get paid the max, and their dumbasses paid him max when he probably should have gotten 35. But they're worried about what? Detroit taking him away? So then go trade him for Durant. I don't know. It's timing in life is a lot of times more important than skill set and resources. But we have to wait this out. And there are worse places to be, luckily, for Laker fans. At least we got Luka Doncic in his prime. At least we're going to have something, some kind of chance to do something here.
But again, it goes back to what we were talking about earlier, and the fact that, I put this up in Lakers Latest the other day as well, where I said, so many people are using the term gap year. You haven't used that word, but you said earlier in the show that you think that 2027, 2028 is what they should target. But in essence, yes, you still have a puncher's chance per se with a guy like Luka, and if he plays at that MVP #1 type level. But again, with the surrounding cast around Luka, it's going to be hard for them to achieve that level. But that's just another year of his prime that you waste in doing so.
No choice. You finally got out of the LeBron era. This had to be the first step, really. Last year was you get bad management by bad general management and bad ownership. Why they gave LeBron another year where he was making $50 million when they didn't have to? Well, you could have gotten ahead of this a year earlier when you traded for Luka. You could have had that last summer. You could have started building there, and then maybe we go into this season with some momentum to maybe compete for a championship. But this Luka era didn't start until Friday. Technically, it didn't start till Friday. Think about that for a second. This was not Luka's team until LeBron signed on Friday. So the new team starts now. The new era starts now. And if you think you're going to just start winning championships now, you're not paying attention to what's going on. And we're going to keep harping and keep talking about why. And it's going to sound like we're whining, but we're not. Their horrid decision, and I'm talking about the NBAPA, in signing this collective bargaining agreement has more of the blame on why the Lakers can't flip it than anything else. And this is with Rob Pelinka on the team. So imagine adding the shittiness of Rob Pelinka on top of it. And it's sad, too, because Pelinka will do one good thing. It's like a child, right? The child sucks at everything. They're yelling, they're breaking things, they're not listening to their parents. And then all of a sudden, for about 5 minutes, they'll look at something and be quiet. Oh, look how nice. He's focused on whatever. That's how people treat Rob Pelinka. He does one little thing for one little moment. All of a sudden, everybody wants to say, "Oh, look and see how good he is." When you want to be, not everybody can do it, man. That's why greatness is greatness. That's why iconic, great legends should be labeled to those who do that kind of stuff. Yeah, no one's perfect, but this is the reverse. He's never perfect, and he has one little thing here and there, and we're supposed to be happy about it. No. Okay, here. Look what Presti did. Go ahead and tell him. You said it on the last show. What did Presti do just recently with Isaiah Joe and
Isaiah Joe, Wiggins, and Dort?
Look what he did. He was capped out. He had a bunch of players. Yeah. What did he do? He saved $224 million, got like 1,000 more second-round picks.
Yep. And he just stuck it again to Denver.
And then he just stuck it to Denver again. Presti's working with the same rules, right? We were used to that. I guess we had Jerry West for 30 years, right?
You would have done that same thing. That's just what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I got to see that. I still got to see that doc on Jerry West before the end of the week. I will do that. That's my mission, to see that documentary on Jerry West on Amazon Prime. If you guys get a chance, see it as well. Um, take the time out of your day. I heard it's really good, and I'll just leave it at that. But Stefan said right there, he said, "How many people besides him have been praising Pelinka in this chat?" And I'm laughing, Joe, because I'm trying hard to think about who is actually on that hill with Stefan, and I'm having a hard time coming up with any other names. That's the problem. Uh, average GM. The Lakers are one of the greatest organizations in Major League Sports on this planet, Joe, and it just seems ill-fitting to have continuously a guy running the front office that's just not at that same level, that the level of excellence you've come to expect from the Lakers.
Yeah, it is what it is. But I have full confidence that at some point there's going to be a transition, and a lot of the reasons why it hasn't happened immediately is because there's promises and relationships that are still there with Mark Walter and the Bus family, and they'll slowly fade this out and be able to do what they end up wanting to do at some point here. We have to be patient.
Search and Destroy. I have tickets this week. We had to wait 2.5 weeks because we only have one 70 millimeter IMAX theater here in Las Vegas, and you had to get 4 tickets together. You had to wait over 2 weeks to get it. So I get to see it later this week. So yeah, I'm excited to go ahead and see what all the hype is all about with the Odyssey. Absolutely. But yeah, exactly, Darth. It's just hard to go ahead and see it IMAX. The thing is, though, they only have a 3-week window for IMAX exclusivity with the Odyssey. So see it if you can on IMAX. But yes, after that, how good will the movie do? I don't know, because it's doing better on IMAX than it is on traditional screens, because they've been telling you for so long now, you got to see it on IMAX. You got to see it on IMAX. So everybody's trying to see it on IMAX. It's about 2 hours from you. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to find an IMAX theater right now for the Odyssey, even 2 weeks later. So yeah, he's again. Oh, it's amazing. All right, I'm glad you got a chance to see it. Cool, bro. But Joe, again, I won't put too much stock into it. Again, I'm not doing my evaluations on teams, really. I'm not going hard in depth on teams right now. I just think it's a little bit too soon for that. I think we should all start thinking about that sometime in mid to late September, and then go from there, maybe into October during exhibition season. But for now, obviously, we can continue the conversation. But LeBron's in Philadelphia, and again, I'm happy for him. Let him move on. I know it doesn't irk me as much as other people. It does irk me a little bit that he took less money and didn't do the same thing for the Lakers. But again, it is what it is. I know I'm not as mad as John. I'll just say that. But before we head on out, again, LeBron, his legacy. I know a lot of people are still tied into that legacy. He got us a title. Thank you. Have a great day. I don't care if they give him a title. I don't care if they give him a statue. I don't care if they hang up his jersey to the rafters. I don't care. I really honestly don't care. He's gone. The noise is gone. And for me, I felt like I was saying this on Lakers Latest. I felt like an albatross, a 100-pound albatross has been taken off my shoulders with what's going on now. So again, whatever will happen now for the Lakers, and I'm looking forward to it. But I'm kind of looking forward to it that it's not right now going to be going forward with LeBron James.
Yeah, I don't really have a feeling either way. I was sad when Kobe left, obviously, but it was right time. Shaq getting traded sucked, but it was either that or lose Kobe to the Clippers. Kareem retiring, I don't really remember that well. Obviously, Magic retiring, the real retirement, not the one in '96. That was one of the worst non-family friend things ever. Lakers have Luka Doncic, man. They got him for nothing. We should be a little bit blessed on that and look at that as a positive. Otherwise, what were you going to do? What was the alternative? Anthony Davis and Austin Reeves and Max Christie, whom everyone thinks is this amazing player. The delusion of Max Christie and Bronny James is probably more shocking to me the last few years than anything that's happened with the Lakers.
Are you also happy that Rich Paul is essentially
Rich Paul is.
Shout out to Drip on that one.
Rich Paul is an absolute buffoon, clown, buffoon, bozo. He's so full of crap. He speaks like that. What's that chick's name? AOC. He speaks like he's smart and he knows. And then when you listen to him talk, you're like, what? LeBron has a lot of offers. Oh, really? He has a lot of offers? Then why did he get $8 million for 2 years, Mr. Oh, they have a lot of offers. Who are you fooling? You think we're stupid? I know there's a lot of stupid people out there, but what about the ones that are not stupid? What offers? To go play in Philly? LeBron is going to make one bad error in game 14 in Philly, and they are going to kill him. Because that's what Philly fans do. All the hate that the Oakland Raider fans used to get in L.A., Vegas, whatever. They don't really get in Vegas now. But in Oakland and L.A. Guys, I've been to several Raider games, several Steeler Raider games. I was talking up a storm with Raider fans. I loved going to the Oakland Coliseum. Their parking was phenomenal. I would drive 2 blocks, park, and then walk to the stadium. I went to A's games growing up. Not one problem. I don't know what the hell you guys are doing over there to Raider fans, but I got along with Raider fans wearing my Steeler gear. Where am I going with this? Philly fans are the worst. Philly fans are the worst. And LeBron is going to get it. And that's going to be the stories. And that's going to be the stuff that goes on. Enjoy. I hope you have a good time in Philly. It was still the right call to go to Philly because it's in the East. And if by some miracle Joel Embiid can muster one season where he can go from first round to the finals, then there's a chance that they could compete for a title. I don't know if they'll beat San Antonio or Oklahoma City or whomever, but he'll have a better chance there than he would in the West. Beyond. Because I don't believe the Knicks are going to repeat. I think this is a one-hit wonder for them. And I think they've gotten their jollies off. I think Cat got a little bit of validation for his career. Mike Brown has got a little bit of validation in his career, but I think this was a shooting star, and they're not going to see another championship for a while. Unless
the odds will tell you that it's not based off of what we've seen this entire decade.
Yeah.
Closet Raiders. There actually are some search here in Las Vegas, but when you go to a Raiders game and you see 60% of the stadium dressed for the other team, you realize that maybe it's not as many as you think it is, but they still pack them in. whether it's their team or not here in Vegas. We'll see with Mendoza, the kid, if he can stay upright.
Well, they're talking about
that
Kirk Cousins starting the year.
That's a good way to develop a guy. All right.
Well, rookie quarterbacks, if you look at the career that Aaron Rodgers has had, he's set for 3 years. If you look at Patrick Mahomes, he's set for a year. That's sitting that first year that's always proven to be an amazing sit. Very few can have the patience to do it, but they do it. I know Carson Palmer wasn't a Hall of Fame player, but he could have been if he hadn't gone to Cincinnati. But even he sat for a year and he came out the gates pretty well too. Who else sat? Steve Young.
You could say Brett Favre.
Brett Favre was unique. He was unique. He was such a.
But he didn't start right away.
Well, he came from Atlanta. He was drafted by Atlanta in the second round, and then one of my favorite coaches, even though he probably wasn't up to snuff in terms of head coaching prowess, was Jerry Glanville.
Tom Brady didn't even start.
Tom Brady sat, but he was a 6th-round pick. I'm more talking about guys that were picked, let's say, first-round picks. Yeah. I actually think when you can sit the high-end pick, first round, let's just say first-round picks, the first-round pick quarterback, and let them develop, it really, really it takes that risk just it takes the risk so further down. Instead of doing what they did in Atlanta with Penix, instead of what they did in Minnesota with McCarthy, it's like, dude, these guys are not even supposed to be drafted this high, let alone starting out the gate. If you just let them develop. But see, that's the problem. A lot of these idiots listen to fans, listen to the media. You got to be stubborn sometimes. You got to say, look, we're going to let this thing play out a little bit. But unfortunately, most of the people that have their jobs aren't really good at doing it.
Swung at Ball 4 is asking if you have thoughts on Diaz and the fighting and all that with with the cockfighting.
I don't give a shit.
Didn't think so.
I care about Diaz coming Wednesday and closing people out with Timmy Trumpets. I only give a damn about Timmy Trumpets playing to win Game 4 in the World Series, hopefully against the Astros, because the AL is trash. The American League is garbage. So if they're going to be garbage, that's not a pun, by the way, bring in the Astros, the ASS Astros. I want clear and upfront revenge for 2017, and I want them to be in it with their shitty division. They should be able to win that division, winning 81 games too. And let's put a stamp on the street-peat by putting a mud hole in the Houston Astros with the Trumpets playing.
Speaking of which, are you okay with Beltran getting into the Hall of Fame this weekend?
You've seen my post on that.
Yeah, I did, but I was hoping you could try and share.
Beltran went into the Hall of Fame for his playing prowess, which he did have. The problem is it still makes the Hall of Fame look like a bunch of hypocrites when you don't let Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, and a lot of those guys like Mark McGwire in when you're letting Carlos Beltran in, because I believe that's worse. What he did was worse than actually cheating within your own self. Because
and the way he phrased it, he sounds like he's not even ashamed of it. It's like he said, you know what? I took advantage of the system. It's the way I'm interpreting
taking advantage of the system would be to watch like a poker player watching his opponent tip his pitches. Well, tip his pitches in baseball. Watching somebody tip the pitches and play it that way from, let's say, if a guy's on second base, that's part of the game. But these assholes had technology on a camera feeding them with their trash cans and clicking a button. I think that's a little different. It makes Major League Baseball look like a bunch of hypocrites, and cheating that way is worse than steroids for an individual, especially when you have somebody like Eric Gagne facing Barry Bonds. Eric Gagne was juiced to the gills playing against or pitching against Barry Bonds, who was juiced to the gills. To me, in the end, that's common sense that it's even at that point, right? But what the Astros did to the Yankees and the Dodgers in 17 was not even. The Dodgers and the Yankees could have had a showdown in 17 and started a run here, but the Houston Astros had to cheat and didn't suffer the consequences of it. So you call it whatever you want. I was fortunate to watch the Lakers get revenge from the Celtics in 2010 for 2008. I want the Astros, even though most of those asswipes are not on that team. I actually dislike Jose Altuve worse than Bregman, Correa, Springer. Although Springer, it's hard. I can't. That scumbag. They got a little bit of revenge on that scumbag in Toronto last year. That was so satisfying, especially with Yamamoto striking him out with the last batter, and then in Game 6, he was sitting in the. He was supposed to bat next after Ernie Clement before Pies caught that ball in the. I'm sorry, that was in Game 6 when Kike got the double play at second after he caught the fly ball. So, to me, Diaz, trumpets, Houston, and I want it in Houston. I know Dodger fans want to celebrate a World Series for the first time in LA since 1963, but if I had a wish, you're not going to hear the trumpets in Houston, obviously, but I'll play it at my house. I want Edwin Diaz closing out the Houston at double S Astros in Houston for the 3-peat. I'll tell you right now, Gerald, this is God honest truth. I hate the Astros more than I hate the Celtics. That's how bad it is. That's how bad it got. And it's probably never going to change. Maybe if they beat him in the World Series to get a little bit of revenge, maybe you might lessen it, but probably not. Because you cannot give back. You cannot get that back. You cannot. Yasiel Puig is missing a ring. Andre Ethier, with all he did, even though it was like his last year, and he was kind of the Clayton Kershaw of that team. He didn't get a ring after all he did for the LA Dodgers. Clayton Kershaw is missing a World Series MVP because of that piece of shit, George Springer. And there's several others that were on that team that don't have a ring. That's never going to get fixed. So there you go. That's the answer to that.
At this point, Stefan, and thank you so much for the super chat. As far as Bonds, and at this point, why not? Just the McGuires, the Sosas. When you put in a guy like Beltran, who again, not only is not ashamed of stealing signs and whatnot, has come off saying and sounding like he endorses what he did. He is like not ashamed of what he did. So again, if you're going to do that, then just put them all in. Put all the Bondses, put all the Sosas, McGuires, Clemens. Just put them all in. Just put them all in, because at this point it doesn't matter. I mean, Search and I have been asking for Garvey in the Hall of Fame for years, because all he did was get an MVP, 2 World Series MVPs on top of it, and then he's still the NL leader in consecutive games, and that's nothing. So I guess so. What are you gonna do? All right, whatever. And by the way, this is my answer on the El Pollo for me over time.
It doesn't matter if they didn't win Game 2 or Game 7 at home. They were going to win Game 5. They were up 4-0 and 7-4 in that game. Even if they lost one game by cheating, they had no business in that series if they're not cheating. They had no business. The Dodgers would have probably won it at worst in 6. Might have won it in 5. We don't know how Game 4 would have played out. Game 3. I don't know. We don't know. I'm sorry. Game 3, I meant.
Mm-hmm. Well, with Del Taco, I'm just saying, get your Pepto. You know, for many years, Joe, I didn't know that Pepto Bismol is how it's actually spelled and it's supposed to be pronounced. Everybody just the way they say it, you always say Pepto Bismol. You don't say Pepto Bismol because it does have an L on the. Who pronounces it Pepto Bismol? They pronounce it Pepto Bismol. So for years as a kid, I thought it was Pepto Bismol. It's actually Pepto Bismol, and which you'll be needing if you go to Del Taco.
Yeah, it's the most wretched food I think I've ever eaten in my life. When
Taco Bell now has given a run for their money.
I was doing a film in 2010, and the producer of the film always got Del Taco for lunch, dinner, whatever. I was like, what the hell is this trash? And of course, it became a joke. I know why he got it, because it was easy. People can just open things up, eat it, and call it a day instead of hamburgers and fries and spilling all over the place. I go, this is not going to work. I didn't even know what the hell Del Taco was at that point. I only had known Taco Bell moving to Southern California. I don't even remember seeing a Del Taco in San Diego at the time, or I didn't pay attention to it. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, what is this? Is this Taco Bell? No, this is Del Taco. I'm like, oh, okay. So I start eating some of the stuff. I'm like, this tastes like Taco Bell. Tastes like shit. It is trash. I had amazing. Oh my God! Last night I had an amazing crab boil. Oh, hot as hell. Not temperature wise. I'm talking about
spicy
boil. Oh my God! And I'm sitting there, and at first I'm like, damn man, am I gonna make it through this bag? And everybody's sitting there, all the geezers, because I'm 48, and of course everybody around me is a geezer too now these days, and they're sitting there whining about since you brought up Pepto-Bismol, bringing up their heartburn issues and their ass issues and all that stuff. I'm like, what are you talking about? What heartburn? What are you, 80?
Cool, bro. I would assume he likes rigatoni pasta.
Yeah, I do like rigatoni pasta.
See, there you go. All right.
With a good sausage or meatball, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Who really says out there Pepto?
Who the hell doesn't like rigatoni pasta anyways? That's like saying you don't like ice cream.
It's the sauce. What kind of sauce do you want with the rigatoni pasta? That's what you're asking. Gerald, will this team do better than last year's in the regular season? How about the playoffs? This is my early.
Good question.
No.
I don't know.
But again, it's early. I don't want. I said Thane, I would be not making.
I wouldn't go there. I wouldn't go there because they played pretty damn well without LeBron the first month and a half. They were winning, and they have a better center now, more talented center, and a couple of young guys. I just don't know if they're going to go all 82 though.
Yeah, I'm looking at about a 47-ish win team. But again, I'm just it's early. I'm not
organic versus non-organic food is a scam, Swung. It's a marketing ploy.
And they will not go that far in the playoffs. They cannot compete against San Antonio or OKC. That they're going to get slaughtered again with this team.
Don't be an idiot, Stefan. Be a non-idiot.
That I can tell you for sure right now. Thane, that they would lose pretty handily in a series against a healthy San Antonio or a healthy OKC.
You know what's organic? I'll tell you what's organic. My friend owned a cactus farm not too far from where I'm at here. He planted broccoli, grew it, literally took it out of the ground, boiled it, salted it up. I ate it. It was the greatest broccoli I ever eaten in my life. That's organic. And I've never tasted a broccoli like that anywhere, whether it says organic, non-organic, sprayed with Roundup, whatever.
Oh boy, that sounds tempting. Yep.
My diet, here's my diet. My diet is I'll go into phases throughout the year where I'll kind of go strict, where I'll stick to the meat and potatoes and stuff. But let me tell you this, guys. The older I get, the more I realize that a lot of these supplements and all this bullshit, just eat good food. Eggs, lean meats, vegetables, blueberry, any berry. Cottage cheese is good. Greek yogurt is good, although I don't like too sweet a Greek yogurt. The main issue with food for me, when I say issue, is I'm a social eater. I'm a social alcohol drinker. I don't drink alcohol at home unless there's company, unless the boys are coming over and we're having drinks or there's a party. And even when there's a party, like for my kids, and I don't drink usually. I'm not a drinker. I don't drink. I drink when the crew's around. That's it. And we're having cocktails. That's it. The hardest part about eating well, like not having wings and beer with the boys, that's it. That's the problem. And I'll get that call all the time. Hey, what'd you have for lunch? You want to go do this? Shit. I've been fasting for 12 hours, man. I don't know if I should be eating that. But I never have the balls to say it. Oh, yeah. Where are we going? Oh, we're going to go to the Cove and have a BLT sandwich with those amazing Cajun fries at the Cove. I'm like, all right, let's go.
Tell Joe when I was on an island, I was sitting next to someone who was literally straight from the Italian mafia. Good for you.
Who's this?
Cool, bro. He hasn't been back in a while.
Somebody asked why I made that look earlier. That was the extension of that look.
JJ is still the coach, Danny. I don't think he's going anywhere unless the team fires him for some reason. But
I'll tell you what, here. So I'm drinking water out of this, but I saved the bottle because this company near our place, it's a we talk about organic. It's funny you guys mentioned organic. So there's this fruit drink that they make, and it's they juice it from the actual fruit. And I had this, and it's expensive as hell. That's why I haven't bought a lot of it. I go, man, this flavor, they call it the mystery flavor. I go, whatever this mystery flavor is, holy shit, this thing tastes good. I go, whatever mystery you put together here is amazing. Problem is a 6-bottle one is like $40. I'm like, $40? $40? Dude, I drank the water out of this in like 3 seconds. If I drank that stuff, I'd be drinking 6 of them a day. I'd be paying $40 a day on this stuff, and I probably wouldn't be enough. So at some point, I'm gonna have to figure it out, which I'm gonna probably do that tomorrow. So organic wise, always in my view, from my experience with organic, you're gonna know by the taste. You'll know by the taste. Trust your instincts. And stop watching TikTok people. Those guys are selling you trash 90% of the time.
Danny, Phil Jackson is 80, and he is essentially immobile at this point, as I said in the comments. He's not coming back. And JJ is still the coach. And he has a guaranteed contract for what, 4 years, or was it 5 years when he originally signed, Joe?
The Lakers?
Yeah, was it 4 or 5?
The first one, I believe, was 5, and I think the second one was 5 as well.
Yeah.
Because he came in 06, 07, 08, 09, and then 10, and then he had an extension, and then that was it. And
I'm talking about JJ, because
JJ.
Danny said
JJ
JJ is gone.
JJ's 5. Yeah, JJ's 5.
Yeah, so I don't think Phil Jackson's walking through that door, Danny. So
Phil Jackson couldn't move in 2012.
Remember when they were flirting on bringing it back, and they were flirting on bringing it back.
That was what broke
for the home games only.
That whole setup was what broke Jeanie and Jim Buss.
Okay. Kurt Rambis was going to coach on the road, and Phil Jackson was going to coach at home. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. They're talking about your workout regimen.
My workout regimen comes in phases. Sometimes I'm on 4 to 5 days a week, and then sometimes I'll go 3 or 4 months without working out. But I'm always doing stuff.
You were doing the spin classes for a while.
Yeah, the spin classes became so I went to spin one time 34 days in a row. Another time I went 29 days in a row. And it was one of those things where my time in those instances were just, I was very flexible, and I wasn't as rigorous in terms of my attention. I was able to right now, because there's so much marketing and so much building of the business outside of what I'm doing right now, because I'm trying to get this to 7-digit area on a consistent basis. I have to be in a lot of places all the time, and I can't stop 9 o'clock or whatever. And sometimes I say, you know what, let me get in this mode where I want to get it done in the morning, because there's a spin class at 5:45 in the morning. But the problem is, the only way I'm going to be able to recover is if I sleep throughout after a day. So if I start working out, and I'm a Laker fan and a Dodger fan, our games don't end till 10, and then we have a show for an hour and a half. I don't sleep 8 hours if I got to get up at 5 in the morning. Sleep is what saves me at the end of the day. It's probably what's kept my hair. It's probably what keeps my face smooth. That's another thing, guys. Sleep. Recovery. Sleep. That's the key. Now, if you can muster eating really well and not eating sugars and just not eating sugar, you're good. You'll be fine.
I have repeatedly said, Game Boy, that it's great to have him gone. Again, it's best for all parties.
By the way, I've seen is it just me, or is it a lot of new faces here?
Well, they're under different names. I think Game Boy is Xbox.
Oh, I know Game Boy's Xbox, and I know Darth is Cool Bro, but
we did have some earlier. We did have some new ones earlier.
Okay.
We had actually people subscribing, becoming a new member.
Yeah.
That's always great to see. But
I used to do that in college, Stefan. I used to do that in college. 2 a.m. workouts. Yeah. I remember I used to flex in the mirror. No, I'm sorry. In the window, there was this really good lighting where I was in the fraternity house. And after I'd get back from the gym, I'd start flexing in that. It was the perfect lighting. I was like, damn, this looks good. Yeah, this looks good. Everyone was asleep.
Yeah, our thoughts on LBJ is good. We wish him all the best.
I'm
glad the noise is gone. So glad.
I can go an hour of sleep, but you can't do it forever. You got to make up for it.
Sleep when you die. All right, Darth, I think we're heading out as well. May the force be with you as well, and may the force be with everyone out there. Again, I'm doing the Pop Culture Cosmos tomorrow morning, which I will not be getting a full 8-hour sleep for. And then also as well, want to make sure I've got a Lakers latest coming up for you tomorrow as well. We'll try to get back to you guys this week with a show, maybe an NBA observations. But I do have an announcement again. I made it earlier. The Lakerholics are coming back. They approached me this week. They said they're ready to come back. So this Saturday morning, 11 a.m. Pacific time, look out for them. They'll be back. They're feisty. I mean, my gosh, yes, Lakerholics.com died, but their text chain actually lives.
Are they on WhatsApp, G?
No, they do regular text chain. Yeah, they're not. Remember, who are you dealing with, Joe? You're dealing with people mostly older than me. So putting them on WhatsApp is a whole new experience for all of them.
But it's a smoother dialogue that way.
I didn't say I wasn't agreeing with you. I'm just telling you.
So you have to hear the text every time you guys talk?
Ting, ting, ting. Yes, it's on. That's why. It's part of the reason why I told them no. Well, look, don't put Joe on this list.
Let's do this. I'll be normal. I'll play the old man game with everybody. Send me an invite, and I'll come on, and we'll see what happens.
I'll add you on there tomorrow. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. Okay. Because remember, Laker Tom is posting all of his. My gosh, and he's so proud of himself, Joe, because he put out an article last week. Guess who?
Yeah, I
Who he
know.
wants
I
to get
saw it.
back on the Lakers? Yeah, you
I
saw
saw it.
that. Miles Turner. Again,
Did he not watch the 2020? Did he not watch the 2025 finals?
I was okay, Joe. I've always got love for Laker Tom. Just absolutely, just love that man to death. It's awesome. He's ornery. He's in his 80s. I'll tell you what. Whenever he dies at age 135 or 45 or whenever, it's going to say Tom Wong, Laker Tom Wong, devoted father, grandfather, husband, Lakers fan. By the way, his last words was Lakers trade for Miles Turner, because Miles Turner will be retired for 10 years and he'll still want him on that team. Unbelievable. And yes, so we're all going back and forth with him on the text, Joe, on the text. Yes.
Well, I'm not gonna be harping on. I'm not gonna be harping on.
Oh, that's okay. Everybody else does. That's
an old man. I don't think that's not the style. That's not my style. But it'll be comedy though. It'll be fun to watch and see the dialogue.
I'll add you on it tomorrow.
I'm sure Jamie has some hilarious conversations about the local economy and social situations too.
He tries to keep that out of it. It's mainly Laker based. It's mainly NBA and Lakers based, because that's all I'm there for.
The secret
from anyone.
The secret of being patient only attributed to my family, because I love my kids. My kids are my life. There's nothing. It's a cliche, but not for me. I'm overly like I can't. I threaten my kids with it, and what I mean by threaten my kids with it, I go, if you guys do anything bad that you're not supposed to, just know you and if something bad happens to you, just know you killed your dad too, because I won't make it. So of course it's comedy in the end with it, but I'm not being funny. I'm being serious. But my kids, I was born to raise children. There's no doubt, because the psychology of children need love, number one, and I have an abundance of that. And then the other part is my observation skills are pretty in tune with people, especially those who are in my circle. So my kids have never mouthed off to me. They've never disrespected me. They're 16 and 13, and they're productive. They're smart. They take care of their schoolwork, and they're obsessed with their mother. Their mother does everything for them, which is in my culture, the mother is the most important thing on the planet. If they love their mother and they're dependent on their mother, that means the pillars are there. I'm there to protect and I'm there to guide. But in the end, again, it's the love, man. Love is what children need, and of course the protection is 1A. When you do that, your kids reciprocate and they come back. They come back pretty positive towards you. But as far as patience outside that, geez, Gerald, I don't know. What do you think? Am I a patient guy?
And on that note, it's the Lakers fast. I could say that, or I could take the fifth. Either which way, however you want to slice it.
I'm not patient. My patience is 0 to stupidity.
Yeah, when we get some live ones on this chat, and Joe makes every effort to try and shut them down.
And really, what it is it's sometimes I feel like it's my duty to make it very clear that Mike Tyson said it. I always quote Mike Tyson on this. That people got too comfortable talking behind their computers and their phones. They think they could just be tough guys, and I don't think they get called out on it. I know I'm not going to be able to do anything about it, but at least I can say something about it. Scumbags, you all think you're a tough guy behind the phone. Well, come tell people their face. Stop being a coward. And that's something I think that a lot of people need to take on. And can't just call people things and think that you're tough. You're not. You're a coward. You know, if you want to call somebody dumb for making a mistake, that's a little different. But calling someone dumb because you don't agree with what they're saying, that's, you know, I mean, I've said things about LeBron that I've kind of regretted, and Jeanie in calling them names. That's a dumb way to do it. But what they did was dumb. That's what I probably should have said. They're not dumb. They're not whatever. They're you know, you don't want to do that. It just sets your mind goes into a whole different area, and you can't allow yourself to do that.
And on that note, it is, of course, the Lakers Fast Break, Lakers Weekend. Truly appreciate you joining us. Thought we'd get in another 2 hours for you. If you have any questions for us, leave in the comments below after the show, of course, if you're watching this after the fact. Or you can always hit us up, Lakers Fast Break at yahoo.com. Cannot thank you enough. Want to give a big shout out to Douglas Gallagher. I always answer his questions in his emails, but I want to give a shout out to Douglas Gallagher. I don't ever do it on the show enough, but he sends us a lot of good comments from time to time at LakersFastBreak at yahoo.com. And I always want to acknowledge people when they do and take the time out of their day to go ahead and acknowledge us here at the Lakers Fast Break. Truly appreciate it. But we'll be back sometime, well, maybe in a week. I'll do this like a weekly thing for now. I'll throw in maybe an NBA observations or two during the week, but unless there's anything going on, unless Jonathan Kuminga comes here, which could happen. Wait and see. Joe, any last thoughts before we head on out?
Well, we're coming upon August, which will be the last month of no basketball. And then training camp starts in September. And then the season starts in October. It's coming, folks. It's coming, and it's going to come soon. And then we're going to be on here, and it's going to be, what is it? Snow City in LA.
You think Washington on August the 6th offers AD an extension?
It certainly sounds like they want to keep him.
75 a year for an extension. For even if, because I think you'd only get 2 more years out of it. I may be wrong, maybe 4, but it would be in the 70s range.
What leverage does Anthony Davis have?
Well, you know,
leverage. Who's going to pay him that money?
It's really not Golden State.
Okay, so I believe, because Rob Pelinka gave him the contract, I believe the last year of his contract is next year, and he gave him a player option, right?
Mm-hmm. It's a 4 for $275. I'm sorry. That's a 4 for $275.
Is Anthony Davis going to be upset if they don't extend him?
I think he would be.
You cannot give Anthony Davis $75 million a year. Can't. Sorry. And if he doesn't want to play for the Wizards, then you cannot give Anthony Davis $75 million. You let him play this contract out, and if he becomes an all-star and they go to the playoffs and hit the second round, you still can't pay him $75 million a year unless it's a short deal. That's it. There's no other way to look at this. It's got to be year by year. Maybe 2. Maybe 2. Give him a 2-year extension. But you cannot give that man a 4 or 5-year deal at $75 million.
It's crazy.
Plus, yeah, there's no way. There is absolutely no way that's happening if I'm the general manager. Yeah, sorry.
Well, thank you again for being here, everyone. Serge, you're the man, the myth, the legend on the mod. As always, cannot thank you enough for taking the time out of your day to watching us. Stefan, be careful and enjoy that Taco Bell as best you can. Watch out for the lettuce.
Dude, we can't. How are you people still eating it?
Joe, he's jacked up. He's even more jacked up than you are.
Oh,
You've seen Stefan.
God, this is crazy. How are you guys still eating Taco Bell? That I keep seeing lines. They just built one like near my house too. A Jack in the Box and a Taco Bell. And across the street there's a Del Taco. And you're wondering why you guys are all obese, dumb, foggy, all this crap, and stupid. Not you guys, I'm saying in general, the public, general public. How are you eating this garbage? We used to eat that stuff in college when you drank so much alcohol, you need to soak it up with something else, right?
Well, that's why Taco Bell was really making a lot of money on that late night menu. It was exactly for that reason.
But then at that point, you had you spent $5. Now you're killing yourself spending $25. Fast food is the food version of Vegas. It's over. Vegas is a sports town. It is not a gambling town anymore. Not in the sense of what it was before. Entertainment and gambling, the old school way, Vegas is a sports town. It's coming. It's done. It's over. It's what it is.
Well, I think they're holding off right now. I noticed Adam Silver's latest comments about expansion, I think, with Seattle and Las Vegas, that they're holding off right now because of the situation in Portland. Because Portland, the owner there is, let's just say, frugal, to be nice. And he's not paying for anything. He's not paying for any restorations on the Rose Garden or anything like that. He wants to stick the entire bill to the city. And if he doesn't get his way, he's probably going to pack up his ball and move out of there. Where he goes, nobody seems to know as of yet. But I think it has cooled right now. I think it still will happen. Expansion will happen with Las Vegas and Seattle. It's just they're trying to figure that out first.
Wow, are they really going to move Portland to Seattle and then Portland
No,
becomes the Seattle City?
It won't be. No, I think it'll be a legit new team. I really think I think like it'll probably go to like Nashville or something. I think Las Vegas and Seattle will be legit expansion team. I'm just a guess. I'm just throwing it. I'm throwing a. It'll be somewhere other than Seattle
Nashville
or Las Vegas.
I'm like, what? What? Why do they want to put another team in freaking Tennessee?
I was just using that for example because that Nashville seems like a hot name for expansion or for teams to move to because it's one of the fast growing city, et cetera, et cetera. But I was using that example. I'm just letting you know that they were probably bringing outright expansion teams for Seattle and Vegas. But if Portland moves, they will move to probably somewhere else.
Stefan should not eat fast food this late. I don't know where he is. Is he here? Is he in the area?
Who?
Stefan, where does he live?
I think he lives Northern California, if I'm right.
Okay, so you're on the West Coast, so it's almost midnight. I'll tell you what. If you're going to eat Mexican food, go find a taco truck. At least it's somewhat real food. I grew up with taco.
You don't need a health inspection. You don't need a health inspection.
Hey man, how popular doesn't Pepsi own Taco Bell?
Yeah, because don't they own Taco? Because that's why you see a Taco Bell,
KFC,
and Pizza Hut.
Yeah, Pizza Hut.
Yeah. That's why you see them all together.
I'd rather eat from a hot dog cart than Taco Bell. And the proof's in the pudding, by the way, guys. That's not me being that's not exaggerating. Taco Bell is not real food. It's garbage.
Oh, any KFC? No, thank you. I'd rather eat gravel.
KFC used to be good.
They've
gotten worse.
I've been in the hospital because of KFC. So
yeah, I think probably ever since Pepsi bought those franchises.
It wiped out my entire family, KFC, a long time ago. I mean, it wiped us all out. And it was either that or the A&W root beer. And we're pretty sure it wasn't the root beer. So I'll leave it at that. But yeah, KFC.
Wendy's used to be good. My friends worked at Wendy's growing up. I used to get the number 6, the spicy chicken. I had it about 6 months ago, and I was like, "What the hell is this?"
They changed.
They changed
so
it.
bad. Yeah, they got so bad.
So Wendy's was my spot. Obviously, In-N-Out is our spot because the food is done immediately. It's not frozen. The fries have to be eaten within the first 5 minutes. So there's this time constraint and intensity with In-N-Out. Anytime somebody says, "Hey, you want me to bring you In-N-Out?" I'm like, "Where are you?" "Well, we're gonna go to the one over here that's on so and so street." I go, "Dude, by the time you get over here, the fries are gonna taste like freaking like powder. I don't want. No, I'll be.
We just ate it In-N-Out last week. The new one on the strip on the 3rd floor. That they have a brand new one that sits on the 3rd floor that overlooks the entire strip. It's really cool. But yes, like you said, by the time you get it, you have a ticking clock. Well, all the fries, whether it's McDonald's or In-N-Out, you have a ticking clock, and you've got to eat them right away, or else they're just plastic within minutes. But
I'd say my only vice, really, and it usually has to be with a sandwich, is Flamin' Hot Cheetos. Flamin' Hot Cheetos and a Code Red Mountain Dew. I'm talking almost freezing cold with a Jersey Mike's club sub. Oh my God. Woo! It's like crack.
Jersey Mike's, you will not get an argument from me on Jersey Mike's. I will tell you that. For me, it's the number 55. I'll just say that. That and the chicken bacon ranch. I like that one too. But the number 55, the Kahlua. That's I think it's the Kahlua. Yeah, the Kahlua. That one I liked a lot. But it is, of course, the Lakers fast break. Truly appreciate you. We're going down a long road here as far as people thought. Chicken Philly is elite. Yeah. There you go, Stefan. That's what you should be looking out for. But I know Jersey's is closed. I guess you could go Subway. That's a very poor man's very poor. I mean, that's his choice. Okay,
if it's between Taco Bell and Subway, get a Subway.
Get a Subway.
Yeah.
Yes, that's again. It's a very poor. At least, but
yeah,
at least
man, Subway was. Oh man, Subway was the spot my freshman year in college. Man, I used to get the number 7, and it was my first education in economics, by the way, because I was working as a bellman and a driver for a hotel, and I was getting paid $5.15 an hour. It was 1997, and that was when minimum wage went from $5.15 to $5.57, and I had that number when I would buy the number 7 at Subway. I had it memorized. It was $6.49 with tax. It went up to $6.99 that day after minimum wage went up. I was like, "What the hell?" Thought it was $6.49 back in the day when every cent counted. And then we found out 15 years later that the bread is made of yoga mats.
And don't even get started on their tuna. But tough. So we were just saying, if he has, because Stefan is about ready to venture into the dark realms of Taco Bell. And yeah, we're just saying, you know what, if you have a choice late at night, I mean, is there Raising Cane's? They're open late. They're at least they're solid.
I would go Raising Cane's because their chicken is actually pretty good. My kids love it. I just don't like to eat a lot of that one because for some reason when I do eat it, even if it's the 3, I just feel like I ate a brick. So
it hits you wrong.
It's good, but it doesn't feel right after. And I stopped eating that a year ago.
I hear you on that one. 100% agree on that one. But I think it's a better alternative than Taco Bell.
Anything's better than it's better if you just eat dirt. Just go outside, grab the dirt, and eat it instead of Taco Bell.
Absolutely, indeed. But on that note, it is a Lakers fast break. Again, we'll try and see what we can do to put some stuff up here on the channel for you. Also, look out for members stuff that's posted here as well. Thank you again for joining us. Thank you for watching us. Again, I will tell you that the Lakerholics are on Saturday at 11.
I'll tell you how it goes, guys. I'll get on the chat. We'll see how it goes with the old guys.
Oh, okay. I'll add you in there. All right. All right, because they wanted you, they requested you, so I said no, but okay, I'll put it on there. Okay, I'll put you on there.
Again, it must have made an impression.
You did all right. Yeah, especially when they were talking smack about Bronny. Yeah, there you go. Oh, let's get Joe in here. So there you go. Absolutely, indeed. But with that said, it is of course Lakers fast break. Joe, do you have an experiment coming anytime soon on the Dodgers?
My plan was to have one after the Yankees series, but they screwed the third game up, like they always screw the third game up or the fourth game up in the series,
like they did today.
But today, it's like Groundhog's Day with these middle relief guys, man. Every time they have a little bit of the lead, they did this in Toronto, New York. It's so frustrating, but it's very likely I'll have a show probably after the Boston series because I'm probably going to go to one of those games with Vari, and I'm going to try to meet up with Henry and Nick with Vari so that we can have our connections.
Would love to see.
Okay, tough. Popeyes was popular about 3 or 4 years ago
when they first brought that chicken sandwich.
Yeah, but the problem was because they have one down the street, and I went and had one, and both times that I had it, the chicken wasn't cooked.
Thane, I think we're stuck with Bronny for another year until a fourth-year option they don't have to pick up.
I think he's gone. He's going to be gone at some point very, very soon.
Well, let's hope so. Again, because he's just on this, just not a rotation player. It just really is just taking up a roster spot. And right now, with the Lakers that have 16 roster spots right now, need to get rid of one. So could be Bronny. We'll wait and see. But it is, of course, Joe Sorrell. Thanks so much again for joining us. It's Gerald Glasser right here as well. Again, Lakers latest during the week, Lakerholics at the end of the week, and who knows what else I'll bring to you, but we'll try to bring to it here. Thank you again for joining us. Thank you to the Super Chats. Thank you so much for the new member. Thank you so much as far as the new subscribers. All that good stuff as we get you through the summer right here, part of a great Lakers weekend. And, of course, the Lakers Fast Break podcast.
Dad, dad, dad.
Yes, he always does a noise right about now.
Hi.